Don't buy a rental property until you have an understanding of these three things. Number one, every state, every city, and every municipality has their own landlord-tenant laws, landlord-tenant obligations. And these are things that you need to understand before you actually decide to invest in a rental property. Now, let me give you two examples. In Baltimore, for example, you have to have an inspection done by the city when you are a landlord. I recently had lunch with a friend and he has rental properties in Baltimore. Well, he had a tenant that just moved in and that tenant never paid. He tried to evict that tenant, and when he went to court, the tenant knew their rights and they knew the landlord's obligations. The landlord, my friend, did not have the required inspection done, and the judge ordered him to have the inspection done, and he was not able to evict that tenant. The judge allowed that tenant to stay. So this is a perfect example of landlord's obligations and tenant's rights. Now, the second example that I can give you is, for example, in Washington, D.C. If you already own a rental property and you decide to sell that rental property, you have to give the tenant something called right of first refusal, meaning you have to allow them to buy the property first before you can actually put it on the market and allow someone else to purchase the property. So these are things that you should know that are laws and rules in these local cities, states, and municipalities before you actually become a landlord, so that you don't find yourself in a situation like my friend who has a property that he's not receiving rent on because the tenant knew their rights. Now, the second thing is a property management software like DoorLoop. Now, DoorLoop is a property management software that provides solutions for landlords, property managers, and real estate investors that allows investors to manage their properties, their tenants, their leases, their maintenance requests, and finances all from one single location. Now, DoorLoop's all-in-one property management software has a built-in CRM where you can use it to communicate with your tenants. You can manage maintenance requests along with the vendors that are performing the maintenance. You can assign and track the work orders, issue the 1099 forms to the vendors, automatically mail checks, and wire money directly to the vendors performing the maintenance requests. You can collect rent. That means collect rent by credit card, debit card, ACH, cash, or check. Screen tenants and send lease agreements with electronic signatures, all built into this platform. This platform also has accounting, live support, and a mobile app. Now, DoorLoop isn't only for traditional residential real estate. It also works for commercial, student housing, mobile homes, affordable housing, community housing, and self-storage, just to name a few. Now, it doesn't matter if you're using DoorLoop on the computer or through the mobile app. It has a very user-friendly interface so that you can spend less time managing and more time growing. I'll put the link down in the description so that you can get started with the DoorLoop demo today. So the third thing is the what, the when, the where, the why, the how. These are questions that the majority of people cannot answer when it comes to buying a rental property. Where are you going to have the rental property and why? For example, are you going to cater to families and be near a school? Or are you going to cater to a working, let's just say, doctor or a nurse and be near a hospital? Are you going to be near a military base? The next question is, how are you going to finance this property? How much money are you going to put down? And then what, meaning what are the rents in the area? You have to think, once you finance this property, you need to be on the positive side of the cash flow. All too often, I have people reach out to me, they get into these rental properties and they didn't do their due diligence as far as knowing or understanding the rents in the area before they financed and purchased the property. Some people have financed these properties and their mortgage is higher than what the rents are in the area. Knowing what the rents are, having a goal and an objective can actually stop you from making a bad financial decision like that. Thanks for watching.